and do that. Okay. All righty. So here we go. And hopefully we'll have some more people show up. Some of the people who said they were going to aren't here, but I'm so happy for those of you who are here. And I'm going to now do my screen share so we can do this. All right. Now, hopefully you see that this is full screen PowerPoint presentation here. So if not, if it looks like it's different part of my screen, let me know. But I am going to make sure that we can do chat. Hopefully I'll see your chat comments too. All right, well, I'm so happy you guys are here today, tonight, whatever time zone you're in. I'm so happy to have, you know, so many of my friends from Australia here. So you guys are awesome to jump on here and support this and get some really good information. So this is something I've done before. I kind of done it a couple of years. Last year I did it, and I want to do it again. And this is really some information that I really like to get out of people, because we all know we love our family, but around the holidays it can get a little bit crazy, right? We around our family, and things happen, and it gets kind of crazy, and sometimes it creates anxiety for us. So this presentation is going to help you learn what you need to know how to do to be able to have a good holiday season, to keep your peace, to be able to really have a good time no matter what people do around you. Okay, so who's this presentation for? Okay, this presentation is really designed for people who a lot of times are worried about spending time with their family. They're worried about negative or upsetting interactions with their family, so that gets them worried. They're worried about maybe getting criticized or feeling you know, feeling like they're going to get asked those questions they want to be asked, or unaccepted. All these sort of things oftentimes are worries when we get with our family, right? For a lot of people, we want to avoid, you know, going, you know, or being at these events, and we don't want to be challenged or put down or attacked by our relatives. And so, you know, we feel like, you know, these are for people who feel like they want to avoid and don't want to even go because they're worried about what's going to happen, right? And this presentation is for people who want greater self-confidence and calm to be able to handle those stressful family events, those troubling, upsetting sort of times. People who want to be more resilient, feel calmer, have more self-control. How about that? Self-control over how you respond to these situations, so you don't react in an angry or resentful way, as it can so often happen with these family events. And really, it's for people who just want greater peace around the holidays, right? We feel anxiety, we feel worry, we sometimes can't even enjoy our family events because of the feelings we feel. And so this is really designed to help you feel greater peace as you move into the holidays, okay? And really, you know, overall, for people who just want a new kind of experience, if you're someone who's had these type of experiences with your family and you're worried, I want you to have a new experience, a better experience, be able to build closer relationships with your family and happier memories, no matter what they do. This is the important thing, right? There's a lot, you know, a lot of things are about, well, what if they do this, or what if they do that? My presentations are all things that you can do, all things that you can do to make it better for you. Even if other people aren't doing their part, you can still have a better time. And I've looked, it's interesting, I've looked on the internet for different things, and this is a topic that has come up. When I came up with it, I haven't heard it anywhere else, but I look at it, and there are blogs and posts and things up there that talk about it, but none of them have these secrets that I have in here in this presentation. And most of them, in my mind, are just kind of hacks of like how to get through the night in survival mode. And okay, that might help us, but these keys that I'm going to share in this presentation will do more than just get you through in survival mode. This will help you thrive. It'll help you feel like you're in your game, even in stressful or upsetting family events, if you learn how to apply these principles in your own life. Okay, So does this sound like you? And you can go ahead and type a Y in the chat if this feels like you. Do you feel anxiety, lose sleep, or even feel panic about your family gatherings? Do you think about believable reasons or excuses about why you might need to miss? Like, sorry, my car broke down. I just don't think I'm gonna be able to make it this year, or I have to work or whatever, because you just don't want to deal with the drama. Type in a Y if any of these are ones that you kind of have felt before. Have you lost the desire to be around your family? You just don't want to do it. There's just been too much hurt, too much resentment, feeling criticized and put down, and you just don't want to do it anymore. You think about moving away, going somewhere really far away so you don't have to be around your family, or just cut off contact with them so you don't have to be at the get-togethers, to lie awake at night, even weeks before the holiday events, thinking about what you're going to say and do. Now we're days ahead of some of the holiday events, and are you worried about, what am I going to say if Aunt Louise does this, or my mom or my dad asks me this question or that question? And do you feel trapped in these upsetting situations where you only have a couple of choices? Either you defend yourself and fight, or you take the pain or abuse, or you run away. You just like, I'm done. I got to get out of here. You feel like you don't really have a lot of choices other than just hit it, get hit, attack back, which causes problems, or just have to, in a big storm and a big huff, leave. That's not fun when those are the options that we feel. So if you feel that any of these things apply to you or anybody you know, this information is for them. And I will put it up on my Facebook page. So if you know someone who needs this and didn't get it, let them get to this information, because I really want it to get out to people. But all these problems are just symptoms of the same problem. It really is. And it's not that you just have a lousy family and that they're just all crazy and lunatics, and maybe they are, I don't know. But the problem is we lack three things that we need to weather our personal storms. You lack these three things if you're in this boat. And these three things are one, the right kind of mental attitudes, insights you need. Two, the mental emotional coping skills you need. And three, the effective plans and strategies you need to respond in more thoughtful, healthy ways. So these are the three categories, and the keys that I'm going to share with you fit into these categories. It really comes down to our preparation and our thought process and what we need to do. Now you might say, now hold on, Darryl, you don't understand how upsetting my family is, or how crazy it is, or they ask these questions and they give me these looks, and I get it. I know it's tough. It's not easy, but it is possible for us to learn how to think and act in a different way to make it different. It really, really can happen. So in this presentation, I'm going to share with you 5 secrets, 5 keys that will tell you the types of mental attitudes and insights that you need to have. That'll teach you the types of mental emotional coping skills you'll need, and some plans and strategies you can implement to help you feel more confident and more prepared, so that you can respond in thoughtful and healthy ways to your family. Because don't we all want that? We don't like to freak out with our family. We don't like to blow up. We don't like to have resentments against them. We don't like to feel like we have to leave after 30 minutes because we just can't take it anymore. So that is, what we all feel. So Jane, did you have something you want to say?
Oh, yes, I think there's a friend of mine might be in the waiting room, and I'm not sure.
All right, let me.
Thanks.
All right, let me.
She said she'll join shortly if she's not on yet.
Okay, thank you for letting me know. All right, there, I'm now finding my thing in there. I am not seeing anybody in the waiting room. I appreciate that. I'm not seeing anybody in the waiting room at the moment. So I will keep monitoring though. Maybe sometimes I think they put it in there and it takes a minute for it to show up on my list of people. Okay, so we'll keep looking for her. Okay, so these are some of the key things. And So what I want for you is to be a superhero, right? I want you, these 5 secrets to help you feel like you can be a superhero, that you are bulletproof, that you are, powerful, that you can weather these storms no matter what. That is what I want to give you, is the gift of that sort of confidence and that sort of resilience. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about families. Let's be honest, right? As Charles Dickens wrote, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. Does that ever feel like your family? You may have had such the best times, but sometimes it is really just awful. And so, we can have really good times with our family, and that's really awesome. And we feel good about that. And then what happens is we have some really, really rotten times, don't feel really good and don't seem very nice. And those can really grate on us. They can really drag us down emotionally. So that's tough. And so now we have storms, right? We have these family gatherings and all these people, and we have history, and sometimes we have past history that we haven't resolved, or people that do things that are annoying or hurtful or critical. And so it really is like a storm that we have. And then, this sort of stuff happens, and it doesn't feel good, right? It doesn't feel happy. And we don't want to be a part of it. We don't want to deal with it. We just would rather not have it. And so we skip those best times because we just don't want to be with our family. Okay, so what are the feelings you feel about these family storms? Do you feel any of these situations? Do you feel beaten down? Do you ever feel discouraged? You can type a Y in the chat if any of these seem to capture what you feel sometimes. Do you feel frustrated about the drama, about the behaviors, about the attitudes of other family members? Do you feel anxious, nervous, worried? But do you feel shame or guilt? Oh, I just found a typo in there. Shame or guilt about, things that happen, maybe things that you do. Do you feel powerless? And do you feel like a victim? And that's really all these things come down to so much when I work with people with family issues. Well, the number one things, they feel these last 2 things. They feel powerless and they feel like a victim. I felt like this before in family situations too. Like, you don't understand. There's nothing I can do to change it. There's nothing I can do to make it different. And so we do. We feel like a victim, and that gets a bad rap. People are like, victim, but we do. As humans, we attach ourselves to a victim mindset so often, and we feel like, hey, I'm being wronged here. I'm being hurt. I'm being beat up. This isn't right, and we focus on that. And maybe you aren't. Maybe we are. Maybe we are being beat up. Maybe we are being treated unfairly, cruelly, critically. Maybe all that's true. But when we stay in that mode, we are powerless and we are feeling like a victim. And so the good news is that all of this emotional distress can be eliminated or greatly reduced when you understand and can apply these 5 keys or secrets. These can help you effectively manage emotionally turbulent, stressful, even toxic family relationship situations. Can help you protect yourself from the mental emotional attacks. Can help you know how to build plans and apply strategies that will give you that confidence and give you that preparation so you can walk into these chaotic or toxic family situations feeling like you can kind of keep your head up and kind of hold your own in here. Okay. So I'm just checking participants again. Okay, let's keep going here. Okay, so the good news is that you don't need to feel like a sitting target anymore, wondering when the next attack is coming, right? You don't need to walk on eggshells to see how much you can stand until you hit that boiling point and need to get out of there. Or you don't need to feel like you're just jumping off the cliff to your destruction, right? Or avoid family events you used to love, or cut off relationships with people you were close to just because you can't handle anymore. So hopefully it doesn't feel like you. That would just like scare me to death to do that. But there's people who do it. So, the good thing is that we can avoid this. We can help you. We can change this for you. So instead of feeling like those things, we're going to help you feel like you're in the driver's seat. And when it rains, all you need to do is turn on the wipers and just keep on driving because you're in control. That's what everyone wants to feel. And when you master these 5 keys, then you'll be able to do that. Okay. So I'm gonna share these with you here in just a few minutes. But first, a little bit about me. I think everyone who's here live knows me already. But in case some people catching the recording aren't familiar with me, I'm going to share a little bit of introduction. So, Dr. Darryl Haslam, PhD marriage and family therapist, over 25 years of counseling experience. I've also been a university professor for over 18 plus years, teaching behavioral sciences, psychology, social work in the university. I'm the founder and CEO of Emotional Freedom Life, an organization I've created to help enhance people's emotional intelligence and emotional well-being and live healthier lives emotionally and mentally. A relationship and personal success coach and national and international speaker, presenter, and trainer. But most of all, I am a dad and a husband, and I've learned through life about emotional storms with families. And so all this stuff is stuff I've learned certainly from professional circles, but I've tested them in personal circles through my own relationships. So I know they hold water if they help me in my situations with my family. So there is that. And now again, here are the keys for you. Okay, so key number 1, most important thing. We always start with mindset, right? We always start off with our attitude. So one of the most important things you need to adopt when you go into these challenging family situations is you need to adopt an emotionally bulletproof or resilient mindset or attitude. So what does that look like? Again, what are the attitudes that we have when we go into these family events and we don't feel like we're on top of our game? Now, you can probably say, oh, I've heard about attitude. I've heard about mindset. I know. Well, yeah, that's fine. But if you're here and you feel tossed around or beat down by your family events, there are pieces in your personal attitude that need to be tweaked. Now, we all feel bad about our family events. It doesn't ever feel good to have someone criticize you or put you down. But the things that really create the problems is when we get into that powerless mindset, we get into this victim mindset, like I'm wronged and they shouldn't treat me that way, and how dare they? And then what happens is we get into protection mode, and then we either need to defend ourselves and fight back, or we need to put a wall up or leave, and we just get into this really emotionally reactive place. And even if you didn't start the fight, even if you didn't deserve what you got, once we get into that mode, our brain kicks in, and its primary motive is to protect and defend. And if that means fighting back, getting out of there, having a big huff, whatever it is, it doesn't care because it's the primitive part of our brain. And it doesn't mind it. It doesn't care if you make a big fuss, if you make a big scene and you say or do things that cause people to look down upon you or strain relationships. Even if the other person did something that really was truly upsetting and validated why you respond. So the key thing here is we need to go from powerless to empowered. We need to realize that we are always able to be in charge of us. Now, it may not always be easy. We need to learn things to be able to help us do that better, right? But we need to first start with the belief and the attitude that you can definitely be empowered enough that you can take control, that you can be the captain of your own ship, that you, instead of stop focusing on controlling external situations, which is your family members, that you focus on what do I need to do to stay in control of me. Because so often what happens is like, well, I need to just not talk to that person. If I don't talk to that person, then they won't upset me, or I'll just stay this side of the room, or just, wait till they leave and then I'll come. We do all these things, and that's managing the situation, but it's not managing us. And so when you focus on what you need to do to keep yourself in a good place, you don't need to worry about the situation. It really doesn't matter, because you have the attitude that you're going to take control of you, and that you're going to learn how to improve your outlook and your response in a way that will allow you to be more resilient more in control of you for the holidays. That's really what it's about. So that's one piece of it, is that emotionally bulletproof, resilient attitude. Okay, number two. I did put this together quickly. So this is number two. It says number three. I apologize. I'll fix that. Um, is affective fitness. Okay, so affective fitness is really a really powerful principle. Now, all these start with A's. I'm pretty proud of myself because they all start with A's. But the effective fitness really involves preparation before you ever get into the challenging situation with your family. Now, if you're going to go, play a sport, or you're going to go run a marathon or a half marathon, do you just show up and say, "Hey, I haven't been running for several months, but I'm going to just show up for this half marathon, and I'm just gonna see how I go, and I'm gonna say how far I can run, how long I can run, and see what my time's going to be." Do you think that would give you a really good time or good experience if that's what you did? Of course not. If you were in a sports team and you said, "Well, we don't really need to practice. I think we know how to play the game. We've been playing since we were 5. We're just going to show up the game and just going to see how it goes. And we're just going to see how well we can play." Was that ever going to work out for people? No. Or if you haven't been running around the field, you're going to have the stamina you need? Of course not. And so it's interesting that people a lot of times don't think about this preparedness from an emotional, mental standpoint when they go into the family events. And so this is what I call affective fitness, or you could say emotional fitness, that you need to increase your level of affective emotional fitness so that when you get into these challenging situations, you're more emotionally fit to handle them. And so what does that involve? Now, Darryl, what are you talking about? Well, some of the pieces of this emotional or affective fitness is, one, the ability to be in a calmer, more positive state generally. So this is like if you're a runner and you run a lot and you're in decent shape, you're going to be in better shape when you encounter upsetting or hurtful family interactions. Number two, that you have the ability to withstand more negative energy and situations before it irritates you, agitates you, or drags you down, or gets you into that reactive spot. Do you know people who it doesn't take hardly anything before the walls go up, they throw a fit, they get really upset, "I just don't want to deal with you," and they're already up here, right? They lack that emotional fitness, the affective fitness, to be able to what we call frustration tolerance, where we can tolerate a certain amount of frustration and still keep our cool. So if you feel like that happens quickly for you and you lose it, then you need to increase that, right? That's emotional or affective fitness. If you're a little bit better off, that's fine. But eventually, those things kind of hit us. But most of the time, people avoid their family events because of this. Well, I'm already hurt. I'm already feel resentful. I already have had enough with them, and I just can't take anymore. And so your frustration tolerance is already up here, even before you even get in there. And that doesn't take a whole lot before you're overwhelmed. And, that's when the bad things happen with us and the other people. Number three is the ability to get yourself back on track when you have had a human moment and, excuse me, got upset or got reactive or discouraged, whatever it is. And again, we're talking about yourself, not what other people are doing to you, because they might be doing things that are really, really hard for you to deal with. But how well can you get yourself back into a positive place? If it takes hours or days or weeks or maybe never, that you never quite get over it, that is a sign of serious lack of affective fitness, that we can't heal and can't get ourselves back in a good state. If that's the case for you, then you need to learn how to do that. You need to learn how to increase that so that you aren't walking into these situations and can't get yourself back in a good state with people once bad things have happened. If you can do all three things, well, then, hey, you're in good shape. You're in good shape. That is good stuff. Okay. So third key, I love this one. I was so proud of myself when I found this image, is developing emotionally bulletproof, resilient armor, right? Whenever you go into battle, like the old medieval days, you want to make sure you have your armor on. It doesn't do good to go into battle without your armor. And so when you go into battle, so to speak, emotionally, mentally, you want to be able to have a certain amount of armor. So what is that armor all about? Well, the armor really is having the mental, emotional tools to manage upsetting family situations. Why you're there is being able to protect yourself, is being able to feel confident enough that you can manage yourself and that you can stay calm. So it comes to confidence as well as the skills you can employ when you're with your challenging family members. And this is another big reason why people avoid going to family activities or just cut off their family completely, is they are afraid of getting hurt again. So like we said in the last one, they are feeling hurt. They can't get themselves out of that state. This is the second piece of it. I'm already feeling hurt. I can't take the risk of getting hurt again. And so they would rather just cut off their relationships. I know I have a relative right now who has done this, completely sever herself from her family that she's cherished for decades and decades because of hurt that hasn't gotten resolved. And it's really sad when those sort of things happen. And so, so one thing we need to do is we need to be able to have the right kind of emotional tools to be able to manage ourselves. A lot of it has to do with learning assertiveness and be able to set boundaries so that if someone does say or do something that you don't like, that you can firmly and calmly set a boundary or manage that situation, not in a reactive way, but that you can have the assertiveness to get yourself out of that situation without getting reactive, without fighting back with all that stuff. Okay. So that is the key thing with the armor, is that we have the resilience, that we cannot let the toxicity and criticism soak in. So we don't let that wound soak in. They can say all that they're going to say. They can be angry with you, but if you've got the right kind of armor, emotion around you, you don't need to worry because it's not going to get inside. And that's a powerful place when you can do that. Okay. So number 4, develop an emotional bulletproof resilient action plan. So here's the thing about this, is it's as a plan. If you're going to go into a tough situation, then you have a plan. A lot of these keys have been inspired through my experiences being in the military. So when I was in the United States military, I look at what do they do to be prepared for the contingencies that they have. And one of the big things is they always have a plan. They've thought about things ahead of time so that when they're in a combat situation or a tough situation, you've got plans that you have developed and you've practiced that plan so that you know how to use it when things get tough and you don't need to think about it. So with some of the things that we need to shift away from when it comes to action plans, we need to get away from this thing of sitting and waiting for the next attack. If you're going into battle and you just sit there, okay, I'm just gonna wait on the ground and hope they don't see me, and the bad guys have guns aimed at you, you're just like, oh, I hope they won't see me, I'm just gonna hunker down right here in the open. That doesn't work. Okay, so if you go in your family situations, okay, I'm just waiting for the attack, that's never gonna be a good thing. Or having to avoid the people, like I said, trying to do things with the situations, that doesn't help. And or you obsess and focus on what could go wrong. You know, you could look at what could happen, but if you obsess with what goes wrong in a bad way, it just creates anxiety, and that doesn't do any good. So what we really need is we need a contingency plan. You need to have a plan that you've developed, that you tell yourself how you're going to respond to certain situations. And this is why this works. The secret about families, again, I'm, doctoral level family therapist. I've studied this for decades, and we've lived in them for decades, right? The secret about families, I think you'll agree with, is that they rarely do things that are unique or different. Families are like all human systems; they're entrenched in habits and patterns, and so there's a lot of times the same patterns are going to resurface. We don't know exactly when they're going to happen, how bad they're going to happen, but we kind of know that they're going to happen or that they could happen. So we can prepare for those situations and you can prepare yourself for those situations to respond in a way that will produce better results. And so, we get deeper in this stuff, and I have some other things I'll share you about at the end where you can get in some deeper waters with this stuff. Then we can share with you more techniques and strategies to be able to have this plan and practice it and do the things you need to do with that. All right, key number 5, the final one is access your trusted ally. That's a double A, right? Access your ally. And so what that is sometimes, if we're really in a tough enough situation, we need reinforcements. We need backup. We need someone to be there for us, whether they're on scene or they're there virtually. And so what happens is if you can recruit somebody to be an ally or more than one somebody's, and then train them the right way, that help them learn how they can support you and when to support you, then you can have an ally, a lifeline. I don't know if you've ever seen, that game show, You Want to Be a Millionaire. They always have the lifeline. If things get bad enough, I have that lifeline I can call. And so this is really important that you have someone. And so in further trainings, I go in more depth on that, on exactly how to do that, what type of, situations they can help you with, and how to train them the right way with that. But, this is the key, is that we get the backup, and then we feel like if it gets really tough, we're about ready to lose it, we have someone or somebody's around who can help us. Isn't that pretty cool? Wouldn't that feel really nice to know you have that set up in advance? Okay, so those are some key things. So in review, the 5 things: we have attitude, we have affective fitness, we have developing your armor, your action plan, and your ally. Okay, and so this is what it is. Okay, well, I told you at the beginning, right? I would share with you the right kind of mental attitudes and insights that you need to learn, mental emotional coping skills you need, and the plans and strategies you need to develop. Now, we just covered the top of the surface, right? Because already this is probably going to be an hour-long presentation, but I gave you the overview, right? So do you feel like I gave you what I said I was going to give you? Hopefully you say yes, that I did that. And so these are the things you need to be mindful of to respond to these family situations in more thoughtful, healthy ways with your family. Now, here's the bottom line here, and stay with me as I kind of finish up a few more things. Here you go, a couple more things. Number one, there's a couple of choices you have, right? Number one choice is you can either do the same thing and get the same results, right? And that's not going to be fun, because you're probably here because you didn't like the results, or you might be listening to this because you didn't like the results. Number two, you can make some changes and shifts and have a different outcome, one that you choose. And that's what I hope you'll do, is you'll take this information and say, yeah, I need to shift some things. I need to up my game so that I can be better, okay? So that you can do what you need to do, but it's going to involve taking action, right? So many things we listen to, oh yeah, it's kind of nice, I like this, good thoughts, hey, thanks, Dr. Darryl, good things. But unless we take action on them, unless we shift things within us, mentally, emotionally, or behaviorally, chances are things aren't going to be different. So the holidays are coming up on us. You think about what are the changes you need to make in order to shift your past experience and make it a new experience. Okay, so think about that. Here's the second choice you have. Okay, one is, do you apply these concepts on your own and do it on your own as best you can? And that's your choice, and that's great. And a lot of people do that. And there's a lot of people who will do just great with that. They have a way of being able to, yeah, I got these concepts. Hey, it's good. I know how to apply them, and they learn how to do them. But for so many people, that isn't enough. For so many people, you might have questions like, yeah, okay, these are nice thoughts, but are these really going to help? Or, what I need to do to really make them really make them applicable in my life. And so that is why these are really important is do you need more help to apply these principles? And I think for a lot of people, we do. We want to go more depth. We need some strategies. We need some tips. And so if you're in that category, good news is I want to be able to help you with that. And the thing is coming up in the holidays, we're all busy. I'm busy just like the rest of us, right? But if you want to go into more depth and get more assistance, there's a special opportunity I'm going to share with you where I want to help you this week and take some of my time so that I can help you guys or help other people. This is what I've designed to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm hosting a follow-up 2-hour seminar in 2 days where I'm going to go into these 5 shifts, these 5 keys in greater depth. We're going to do a deep dive into them. We're going to get into some applied activities. We're going to share with you. It's going to be like a workshop where you go in there and we're going to get you all the things you need to do so that you're really armed to be able to handle your family events at a higher level and a calmer and more enjoyable way. And you'll have a chance to ask some follow-up questions or get some assistance with that. So this is what I want to do is I really would love to help you and be there for you by giving you another level of assistance and going in more depth. So if that's something you like, I just call it Night with Dr. Darryl, right? Virtual boot camp to help you become mentally, emotionally ready for your family events. Okay. And so if that's going to be Wednesday night, USA Mountain Time, 7 to 9. And so adjust your time schedule, however that is. If you sign up for it and you can't attend it live, I will record it and I will make sure that you get a recording of it, so you will be able to get this in-depth information and be able to go through the activities, exercises on your own before Christmas comes or when New Year's or whatever holiday you were trying to get yourself ramped up for. And if you do get to see it live, then you want to go through it again, I will allow you to have access to it till the end of the year. Okay. So that way you can, have some time here for the next couple of weeks, week and a half, and you can get this deeper dive into these principles and go through some activities that will help you do it. Okay. Help you apply this in a higher way. So what this is designed to do is designed to give you specific attitude shifts that you need to make. It's designed to give you greater understanding on why we react emotionally the way we do and how to fix it. We're going to get a little more into that brain science and understand what happens to us so you are better aware of what happens. I'm going to give you some targeted coping skills that help you be more resilient, tell you some of the areas, types of coping skills that we can employ, and give you more information and training on that, and detailed steps on how to set up your contingency plan, your action plan, and recruit and train your ally so that you can learn the best way to do that and the types of things to talk with them about in order to do that, and the key strategies just to give you more sense of control and confidence. So if that is something that you like, one more thing. So here's what it looks like for this sort of thing. 2 hours of my time, that right there is probably almost $400 recording of it. That's, this is really valuable stuff, really good information. You're not going to find anywhere else. That could be a couple $100. And the other thing I'm going to throw in there is I do have an e-course that I'm developing that even goes into a deeper dive. I wanted to have it done before the holidays. Life and all the things that are on my plate got in the way. I didn't get it finished, but I'm going to get it finished here soon for the end of the year. So what's going to happen is I'll give you an opportunity. If you show up to this thing Wednesday night, you'll have an opportunity to buy the whole deeper course for 50% off, which is at least $150 off. It's about $147 with discounted price. I'm going to be selling about $300, about $297. So that's right, $150 off. Next year we do it. It'll be more. So you have this course forever, where you have this presentation. You get to keep it forever. You get to keep the 2-hour seminar forever. You get to keep this course where you go into more activities and more strategies and more things. You keep that forever. Even if it's too late for this year's holiday, you're going to have more holiday events. you have it with you always. It's yours, and you'll have a chance to have that. So really, it's a really great value, around $744. And to get into this event in 2 days, how much am I charging? $57. Nothing, hardly at all, for what you're getting from that. So it's really, I wanted to make it really an easy decision that if you want to do that for 2 hours of my time, during this busy week with holidays, my wife's like, are you sure you want to do this? I was like, yes, I want to help people. I want to do this for people. I want to help you have the best ever kind of time with your family. This is where it's at. So here is the link for that, and I'm going to also put it in the chat so that you can link on there. But I'd say just do it right now. Get on there and save your seat so that we are going to talk in a couple days. If it turns out you can't do that, like I said, it'll be recorded and you'll be able to get it. And I want you to be there for this event. Okay. So, this is really a labor of love for me. And if you like the tip of the iceberg that I've given you, then you'll love what this deeper, dive, couple hour seminar is going to do. It might be a little more than 2 hours, depends how we go. I'm just going to give it all to you. Just whatever I can get in that amount of time, I'm going to do it. But act fast. I might end up raising the price. I'm going to hold at least till through tonight at this price for those of you who are on here today. Depending on how many people sign up and how it goes, I might end up bumping it up another $10 or $20. Who knows? But I'd encourage you to jump in on this price. It's really good right now, and I'd love to see you in a couple days so that we can talk again and do some more. And I really want to help you do this. If you know people who need this, who aren't there, then give them this information, give them the link, and we will make sure that we prepare you the right way. So that is my presentation. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. I know this is such a busy week, and again, some people are like, "Oh, you sure you want to do this? It's such a busy week for people." But I knew for some people, this is really important stuff where you're worried about the holidays, and I wanted to make sure that people had something to help them with this. Okay. So that is my presentation. Thank you for being here. And that is it. Does anyone have any questions? All right. Well, like I say, please sign up for this 2-hour thing. I hope that we can see each other again. If not, keep in touch with me, and I'll probably do some more things in the future to help people. But just stay in touch. I really want to help people out. Okay. And
Thanks, Darryl.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I think I remember doing one similar with you a little while ago, like maybe last year or whenever. And
yes, last year I did do one similar. I kind of refined some of the things.
Yeah.
I changed some things and I added some things. But yes, it was similar thing. I think you were on there. That's
yeah,
right,
no, I appreciate
Jane.
it. No, it's good. It's good.
That's
Because
right.
there's always some tension between relatives when there's a group of people.
It's so hard, isn't it?
So yeah, and sometimes you don't even know that you've upset someone. So I guess it's good to have that preparation in case they lose it. Yeah, no, that's good. Okay. Thanks for your time.
You bet. So I'm going to stop the live stream and the intro, and then I'm going to say hi to my friend who popped on here.